Thank you for welcoming us onto your headphones. I'm Lauren.
Eddie.
And I'm Joe, and this is the rollback.
Folks, for those of you who don't know, these are two people that I have worked with once whole time ever before, a long time ago. Lauren and Joe, we ranked all the Spider-Man films.
That's what we did.
All the ones that existed at that time. I think only one came out since then.
Was that pre or post Into the Spider-Verse? I don't remember.
It was post.
Post, yeah.
Ah, okay, yes, the good one.
Homecoming hadn't come out yet.
Homecoming or Far From Home?
Far From Home.
Whatever the fucking, they all have home in the name.
Which, I mean, Jesus, poor Tom Holland. He's like signed to like a 30-year contract, that poor kid.
For him, whatever. He's fucking living the life.
Jesus. But enough about really, really rich, poor 20-year-old. What are we doing today, guys?
Most ambitious undertaking of ranking the
mutant movies.
The X-Men movies.
The X-Men universe.
X-Men universe.
Are we going to include the ones that were never made?
With the ones that haven't come out yet that were like supposed to?
No. I mean they were going to do an Origins for Magneto. They were going to do one for the one that throws cards really good.
Gambit.
That one. They were going to do an Origins one for Gambit with Channing Tatum.
Was that going to be Gambit? Channing Tatum?
Yeah, he was going to play Gambit. He loves the character,
King shit only.
But it never got made because Fox is apparently a bunch of idiots. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I do like X-Men. Like, they're like a solid B for me. They're not my favorite superheroes ever, but not bad.
I love X-Men. We grew up watching X-Men.
Yeah. The old show that did.
No, not even that. We did start watching that recently, though. But the old movies, because they came out when we were like kids, so they're like nostalgic almost. And when I went back and rewatched like some summaries, and we watched some of the old ones too, it's like, oh man, this is so fucking good, and I forgot how good this is. And what when we hadn't watched which one was it? The Wolverine, but
Wolverine.
The Wolverine, not the Origins one, the other one,
the Samurai one.
Yeah,
the Samurai one. So
we were watching that like a couple weeks ago to like prepare for this. And I was like so mad. I feel like there probably was promotion for it, but I was so mad that like I hadn't seen it when it came out. I was like, why the fuck wasn't anybody talking about this? This is so good. Like, what the hell?
And
it's the best Wolverine movie.
I'm sorry?
I'm kidding. Okay, so who wants to start? Shotgun, not it.
Yeah, that would be what you fucking say. You gave us the hardest task of a fucking lifetime. We've been sitting on this list for weeks. Like, oh no, I don't think this is right.
No. Wait till we rank all of the MCU films. That'll be a treat.
That almost...
There's no way.
There is a way, though. There is a way. We'll find it. We'll make it like a 5-part special.
I almost feel like that's easier. I know it's a longer list, but I almost feel like that's why it's easier, because it has more places for you to be like, I'm okay with this being here. This list, though it's 12 fucking movies long, because we're including the Deadpool movies and all of the little side fucking things, 12 movies long is not enough spaces. I needed more spaces to put things, because some movies are too good to be this close to the bottom of my list.
Oof. You guys love the original trilogy, right?
Yes, well, I do.
Yeah, you're gonna hate my number 12.
I'll go first.
I don't mind. It's whatever. That's good.
Eddie already claimed not to. So, my last movie on my official ranking, my official unofficial ranking, is X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay, is that Joe? Is that your bottom?
That is also my number 12.
Oh shit, that's my number 11. Fuck it, I'm in. You know what? I'm changing my list now.
You can't change it right now.
Yes, I am. Okay, X3, you just moved up in the world.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let's concentrate on the piece of shit at hand. X Origins Wolverine.
Oh no! Oh my god.
Was there anything good about this film?
Yes, there was one thing good about this scene that I can say without a doubt, and that is when they kill Deadpool. I'm making air quotations. And the head goes spinning, shooting lasers, and it destroys the coolant tower. That was the best scene of the whole movie.
Also looks that the monstrosity that they made of Deadpool for that movie is terrifying. One of the scarier mutants of the entire X-Men franchise, I would say, and they have some scary fucking looking guys. I mean, and I love Nightcrawler with all my heart, but if I saw him in person, I would cry. Any other redeemable things? I'll say something that I know that also you probably won't fucking know who this is, and I have no one to commiserate with this on, but whoever plays Baby Werewolf in the beginning, back when he's, what's his name? James or whatever.
Yeah.
It's Troye Sivan, who is a YouTuber turned pop singer who's very popular right now. He used to be an actor when he was a kid, and he plays Baby Werewolf, and I'm like a fan of this guy, so I was like seeing it like Wolverine, whatever. Listen, I love him.
I already hear the bitching in my ear right now. Why didn't you edit out werewolf?
Listen, I like werewolves. I like Wolverine. I get Tom fucking Hanks and Tom Cruise mixed up 90% of the time just because of the names. This is gonna happen. Everyone has to accept it. But he plays Baby Wolverine, and it's really fucking funny seeing him with his little bone claws, like.
And then he kills his dad.
Oh, that's right. He kills his father. I forgot about that.
So, and also they missed out on a huge opportunity to include anything more than that clip show of them doing all those cool war scenes in the beginning.
Yes.
A century of a lifetime.
They're like, look at all this cool stuff they were doing. Anyways.
Dude, legit, I thought, fucking do X-Men Origins Wolverine World War II style, Have him be on the front lines with mutants and shit and whatnot. Fucking have that be the story. I don't give a fuck how he gets his claws. Show me World War II Bone Wolverine.
I mean, or at least show him getting his claws in a more dynamic way. I was watching, reviews also what other people thought of this movie. And this one pair of guys mentioned how, he says how the claws, when they come out of him, they hurt every time in, one of the first X-Men movies. Mm-hmm. And when he first gets, the adamantite things coming out of his fucking hands in this movie, he's like, oh, cool! There's no pain, there's nothing, just, that
no blood.
Scene. Yeah, just,
They look so fake, though.
Oh, yeah.
In that scene when he's in the restroom, he's just
he, clinks them together.
Yeah.
Awful.
I don't know how they went backwards from the CGI in the previous movies.
It's Fox. They find a way. They always find a way.
They're with Fox sponsorship.
I don't want Fox's money. They're with the mouse. They're with the rat. They sold out.
You hear that, Fox? Fuck you ugly bitch.
If there's a God, Disney will someday file bankruptcy in my lifetime.
We won't see it. Not in our lifetime.
God, maybe Apple will buy them. I don't know if that's worse or better. That's
worse.
What's okay? So, what's worse than Darth Vader?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. Yeah, and they're like, is he trying to look sexy? I feel like Adam Driver's trying, but he's not Marvel it yet.
That is so unfair. He did not pick the outfit.
We are so off topic. Jesus.
Right. This is going to take 15 years. So who wants to go next?
Eddie, you took first claim to not going first. So now you get first claim of going second.
X3.
You already said it.
I despise you.
X3. Because, look, man, there was
You are one of these little timeline people, aren't you? You're going to have a whole thing.
I don't give a fuck about the timeline. You know what I don't like? That Jean Grey, this is the first time they fuck up the Dark Phoenix saga. There's no Cyclops, who I actually kind of liked. Fucking the Wolverine is in love with her, but they kind of show their relationship, but they kind of don't throughout the series. It's just this whole jumbled fucking mess. Where's Rogue? I want Rogue. Fucking Angel's there for 10 seconds. No, if they made X3 4 hours long and had a lot more shit in it that was good, I would have loved it. But not. Oh, and they fucking killed Charles Xavier.
Yeah, and they brought him back in the end.
For better movies to come.
No, I'm talking about the fucking cutscene. The cutscene where he like wakes up in that other guy's consciousness, and you have to do some googling to find out that it's like his twin brother or some shit.
No,
like
I saw that, but like.
So the thing is that right there, that movie is like, oh no, we killed everybody, and then all the cutscenes in the end are like, but mostly the important people are still around. Dark Phoenix, is she ever really dead? Probably fucking not. Charles Xavier in some dude's body. Magneto slowly getting his powers back. So there was still something there. It was really good. I like it when they weren't afraid to be like, you know what? We just killed everybody. Fuck you. And it was fucking amazing. I sat there in theater at like 9 years old being like, oh my God, as Charles Xavier like tatters into fucking pieces in a living room. Like, that's incredible.
Look, man, it was such a disappointment. And I'll say this, like 10-year-old Eddie probably loved it. I know 26-year-old Eddie is like, you could have done so much more with this. What's wrong with you?
The child inside of you is upset, and I know it for certain.
The child inside of me is dead, and he's been dead for a while. I can smell his rotting corpse as we speak.
This is weird suicide.
Joe, you're up.
My number 11 is X-Men Days of Futures Past.
I am so fucking... Really?
Yes.
Oh, no!
You know, we're not friends now, Joe. You know that, right? Like, we can't be friends.
When were we?
For the past, 8 minutes or so that we've met.
And I have one very decisive reason. It fucks all the movies after it.
All the movies after were shit, though, but okay.
I hate this conversation.
All the movies after there are basically predetermined after this because of the scene where Wolverine goes back in time and he goes and has a little chat after seeing Cyclops and Jean and says, hey, so what happened? Time travel is bad and you should not take advantage of it.
No, this is when you're supposed to take advantage of it. I know that I wasn't going into this movie, I was very confused, and I guess we can get more into it later. I didn't realize that they had separated into 2 timelines. I thought these were just more continuations of movies. So Days of Future Past, when I started watching it, I was like, oh, there's doing it over. I didn't fucking know they were going to do that. But this, even though I liked Last Stand, a lot of people didn't, and they wanted writers and they wanted to start fresh. And if there's ever a time to take advantage of fucking powers that make you go back into the past and be able to do whatever the fuck you want, it's to do this. I think they utilized it in a good way.
Okay.
Damn. I'm gonna get roasted this whole fucking podcast, man. I knew this was gonna happen.
Oh, Laura, what the fuck is your number 11? Let's get started.
Number 11 is Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
It just fell short for me. I don't know. I understand everybody turning and teaming up with random people at random times. It's very funny. I think it's interesting and nice when everyone decides to pick different sides again, because X-Men can just do that. They're like, I don't want to be part of these guys anymore. This guy's story is more with my story. And I think that's cool. But I just think the execution was just below, to only, again, kill an important character and not learn anything from it when they fucking when they kill Mystique, and everyone's like, oh, she killed Mystique, we have to fucking destroy her. It's I don't know, I guess it was a really split-second thing, but everyone was like, she murdered her, and she didn't. It was an accident, and the whole rest of the movie is based on the predicate that she murdered Mystique in cold blood when Mystique would have died for her and said in the beginning, don't worry, we're here to protect you. And she dies for her the way that she said that she would. And everyone was like, fucking crazy person. And then it just becomes, I don't know. It could have been better. I think, she dies again in the end, right? And I know I'm the one who dies,
quote unquote,
floats into the atmosphere and explodes or whatever. And I know I'm also the person who just said that, does Dark Phoenix ever really die? No. But did they have to end it with her, quote unquote, dying again? No. My opinion!
Dark Phoenix is my number 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fuck Dark Phoenix. Because, you hadn't been with this version of Jean Grey enough to give a shit about her. I know I didn't. Like her.
It's also his number 10.
Really? Okay. Boom. Let's all go off on this film. Like, it's an equal piece of shit. Because, like, think about it. When Tony Stark died, why did it matter to you? Because you gave a shit. Because you grew up with them for 11 goddamn years.
Yeah.
I've known this Jean.
You saw like the development of his character and the struggles that he went through, and for it to like come to a climactic like he dies.
Yeah, but with the Jean Grey that you've known for like maybe an hour and a half, and then she becomes Phoenix at the beginning of this one, it doesn't fit. It doesn't work.
Yeah, especially her also coming from an already iconic franchise. Like, you probably know her better as the girl from Game of Thrones than you know her as Jean Grey. And I didn't even watch any of Game of Thrones, and I was like, oh, it's the girl from Game of Thrones. I didn't know that.
But she was one of the main characters, I think.
Yeah, I would say people like of recognizable characters from Game of Thrones, she's like top 10.
I think one of my biggest problems with movies is when they have wasted potential. In this film, Dark Phoenix should not have happened now. It should have been like in 3 movies. It should have been a culmination of like 5 films of build-up. Fucking throw Magneto at the wall. Poor Michael Fassbender, man. He acted his ass off when they're like playing with the helicopter and he's just flexing. Oh, I can't hold it. That got me pumped to go work out. I don't know why that did.
I love Michael Fassbender, and he did a great job in that movie too. There's no short of like great acting. Like also the guy who plays Nightcrawler in that movie. That whole time we were like, Nightcrawler, don't fucking die, because I love Nightcrawler so much. But he also the characters did a great job. Like
Nightcrawler, he's fun, he's flashy, he does cool things. Like, what is it like about him?
Dope mutant. And all the whole like kitchen table argument between Beast and Charles, that shit like went hard. It was good. Like, they didn't hold back, like smashing the glass and being like, it was your fucking fault, because it kind of was. Like, that was good. It was just the actual plot that wasn't good. All the rest of it like kind of was.
Well, no, also, it was executed so poorly. Like, I didn't know her dad was alive. When I realized, oh shit, her dad's alive. Oh fuck, her dad's alive. Like, that actually had a reaction. I was like, oh, no, this is going to go south then. They wasted it.
And again, more people misinterpreting things. How many movies are based on just miscommunication? Charles was like, I did this to protect you, and very clearly did, because her dad fucking hated her, and she would have had a horrible time. And the whole time she's like, you lied to me. And it was like, I mean, yeah, but it was kind of a good lie. Like, your life kind of sucked.
Look, you can unfriend me, but, like, do we have to destroy half the fucking planet right now?
I mean, you can.
Was there any other good parts about this film? Oh, you could tell Jennifer Lawrence was fucking done the entire film. Like, for the, like, short, like, 10, 15, 20 minutes that she's there, you can tell she does not want to be there. Like, she's done with the X-Men. She's done with playing franchise characters.
Which I feel like is a weird move on her part, but I guess she's going into more and more, like, niche little, like, rando movies. Like, the last couple things that I've seen her in were, like, Mother and, like, that one movie, Joy, or whatever. I know
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow. These, like, which they're all good. Here and there are, like, they're hit or miss. But I think franchise movies are a great way to stay a recognizable actress for, like, the rest of your life. And she plays extremely dope characters, so I hope that she didn't, like cancel contracts and die for it, because that's a stupid move if it was. And it's an iconic character, so to just sacrifice the whole character because Jennifer Lawrence is bored, boo.
Well, no, did you notice that her makeup wasn't really there compared to, like, the first 3? It's because she didn't want to show up for makeup. She didn't want to, like, she was done. She's like, I'm only here because if I don't show up, you guys are going to sue the fuck out of me. That's the only reason I'm here. They're like, all right, I guess we're going to kill her off early.
She is a brat.
Wait, so that was Dark Phoenix was my
number... Your guy's number 10, but my number 11.
Okay, so you're next. Go.
Well, start with my number 10, I guess. And I don't want to say it because I'm going to get dragged. My number 10 is Deadpool 2. No, listen to me. I have a defense. This is what I was just talking about. There's too many good movies for them to fit on this list. 1. 2, the reason why it's low is because after so many mix-arounds of me redoing this fucking list, I decided to base it on a certain, like, predicate, which is that X-Men movies to me are like team movies, like multiple mutants, let's save the world type of movies, which puts solo character movies lower on the list, bar none. Like, it has to for me, because I love, I love Wolverine, but a solo movie of Wolverine isn't an X-Men movie. It's a Wolverine movie, is what it is. And that's what I feel about Deadpool. And I fucking loved that movie. I laughed all the way through it. I loved it just as much as Deadpool 1. I thought it was just as funny. The comedy is on point, but it's not an X-Men movie. And to even prove itself right, they tried to have a team and then killed half of them immediately.
Okay, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. It's wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion.
No, it's not wrong, all right? I'm stuck to numbers here, and if they were ranked, all these would have very similar numbers. I mean, like, scored, not ranked. If they were scored, they would all have very similar numbers.
Okay, Joe, in your family, you are now my number one. Congratulations. You've now moved up in the rank. Congratulations, Joe.
Your family, you're not a number.
You're scored individually, but not ranked.
Joe, my new favorite Flores. What is your number? What's your number 9 or 8 or what the fuck number we're on right now?
Okay. This is quite a roller coaster of people not liking the selections. The Wolverine is my number 9.
Damn. Fair. Okay.
I want to say that this movie, like, it had all the pizzazz of, Wolverine and him being, like, unkillable and whatever. But I just felt like there wasn't a guided force that he was against, right? And the force that he was against for the most part of the movie is gone, right? But is then taken by a figurehead that is Viper. But you don't see Viper at all during the most of this movie. You don't see what she does. You don't understand her really. And I guess that goes into how intelligent she is, right? Where she's not going to be doing things herself. But you want to see who he's up against. You want to understand, even if it's not for the sake of Wolverine knowing this, just for the audience to understand what's happening. And when he magically found the little robot in his chest that was stopping him from healing, that was not explained at all, and he just decided that's what's stopping me. Like, why weren't we told? We know Viper did something, but were we just supposed to relate it to the weird tentacle monster inside the glass? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shit, that's sound logic. I mean, I think...
Fuck you. Mine's like, your opinion is your opinion, but it's wrong, but Joe's sound logic.
This is one of the movies that I could for sure say, like, just as a movie, it's fun, but it doesn't have the mechanics of a good movie.
Would you say part of the problem is that Wolverine doesn't drive the plot just happens to him?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Like, him as an invulnerable character, just alive for so long and not really caring about most things.
That's true.
Things just happen around him.
I do like, though, and I mentioned this when we watched that movie, the very funny situation of that's mostly Wolverine's whole, like, MO is, like, he's just trying to, like, do whatever the fuck, and people always fucking find him, and they're like, hey, we need you, bitch, and he's like, oh my god, hasn't everyone died yet? Like, what? What do you want? And I feel like I should say that the Wolverine is my number 9. That's your number 9? Yeah, so it's also my number 9.
Fuck, what didn't you like about it?
I like I said... I like all these movies very much, except for basically the bottom 2, which we've already listed. But, and just for the benefit of the people, the difference between Origins and Wolverine is Origins Wolverine is his, like, coming to story, having the adamantite claws, and the Wolverine comes right after Last Stand, which I had never seen. I didn't realize any movies came after Last Stand, like I just mentioned earlier. When I watched it, very sexy movie, super dope, everything about it. I was like, ah! We kept having to, like, pause for, like, different things that were, like, happening in our house. We were, like, getting food and shit or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to. There's an hour and a half left of this fucking movie, and it's really fucking good. They went out of their way to make, like, a new story for Wolverine. And I think, kind of vaguely remembering Jean Grey and his whole PTSD thing and becoming like a woodsman, like how very in character for him to be like, I'm fucking depressed, so I'm gonna fucking live in the woods because I'm invulnerable and immortal and shit. So that's what I'm doing right now. But it is a solo movie. I missed having more than one mutant there beyond the girl who can fucking see when you die, which is cool, but is not that helpful except for when he's like dying and she's like, I see when you die. And he's like, what? I don't die. What do you mean? So, and you know, again, she was wrong. So like she was more useful as a sword fighter than she was as like a partner in crime.
Well, doesn't she say that I see that when you die, you're holding your heart in your hand, and that comes up later?
Yeah, it does. But like, it only comes up later in that he's like, oh shit, there's that fucking bug on my heart that's actually probably the thing that's making me like die
for some reason.
Right? And as soon as he goes to be like, fuck this, I'm getting it out, that's when she's like, no, your heart in your hands. And he's still sitting there like, do I look like I give a fuck? And he's trying to get this thing.
So either I do this and I might live, or I don't do this and I die. Let's find out.
So like, how useful was she really if he just ignored her both times that she said that? Like, it's like, I was just saying this about, I don't know, have you seen any of the Umbrella Academy recently?
I've seen like one episode, and apparently like Damian Wayne beats the shit out of a fish man.
I finished the first season, but I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've never seen anything except for that one episode.
Well, despite that, in the show they have one CGI character who you maybe have seen, which is the guy who is a monkey, and his name is Pogo, and they could have saved themselves, I think, thousands of dollars from keeping Pogo out of the first season because no one fucking listens to him. He sits there and they're like, whatever, Pogo, or they like ignore him, or they say no lines to him. And that's kind of how I feel like, not that like her character wasn't needed, just like her mutantness wasn't super like, it wasn't impactful to the plot. It was like, she was like, oh no, and so she worried the audience for all of 2 seconds because we're like, I mean, does he die? And we're all thinking no. So everyone's kind of not going to believe her anyway. Anyways, I liked the movie, thought it was great. It's a solo movie. A kind of funny, weird rebound story for Wolverine to, like, get a girl and, like, get over Jean Grey or whatever. And then also, he ends this fucking movie with bone claws. And then the next movie, they're fucking adamantite, which is, the next movie is Days of Future Past. Yes. The next movie, no explanation. Adamantite claws.
On top of that, they didn't explain... My sword made of adamantium. It cut adamantium when hot. No one thought about this.
Where's the science? I want the research.
They say adamantium. You melt it once, it cools, and then it's unbreakable. That's like you can't change it. It won't change form. That is what it says happens. Why did they cut the claws? They didn't say anything. They just did it. Like whatever.
Yeah, I just feel like it would have been a really quick, easy add-on to explain how he got it back. It could have been like a 2-second flashback, and I would have been like, ha, dope, that would have been it, and I didn't do it.
I love how you guys are asking for more science from an X-Men movie. I love that.
I'm just fucking saying, at least, I mean, for the movie that's constantly going back on things that it does, you might as well, I mean, like, these movies weren't that far apart as far as being filmed. Nobody was like, hey, by the way, the last one ended with him with fucking bones. You gonna do anything about that? And the next thing I was like, nah. That's inconvenient to my plot, which it would have been, I guess, since it's Days of Future Past. But like, what the fuck?
That was y'all's what, number 9?
Yeah.
12, 11, 10. Shit. I think this might be the first not good pick I make. X2.
Ooh. Foolish, wrong, incorrect.
Look, man, I understand it's not a bad X-Men movie. To some people, it's their favorite ever. It's just, it's not my favorite X-Men because to me, growing up, this wasn't the team that I loved. I loved the past team, if that makes sense. We'll get to that. But yeah, X2, there was a lot of just things I had to overcome to be like, okay, what's this? Or I'm a bit confused here. What the hell's going on there? That's the first time I watched it. I was 8 and I was probably stupid. Nonetheless, I just found myself really bored with the whole film. I was like, okay, wait. So is he trying to slaughter everyone or not? Who's doing this? What? It was just really confusing to, again, young Eddie, and I never really got the taste for it as I got older. I never liked this X-Men team. The first team, I didn't like the original trilogy. I'll just be honest with you. I didn't like it.
That's fair, but you're wrong. I think, I don't know if you've like given it a rewatch rather recently. This is one that I haven't seen extremely recently, but I had a few years ago been on like this, I gotta rewatch X-Men for some reason, like kick. And so I watched the first X-Men. I was like, oh, that was so dope. We had it like on DVD here at my house, and we had the second one. So I was like, fuck it, I'm watching the second one. And I got midway through that movie, and I got so fucking stressed out that I didn't finish watching the movie because I was stressed because like the plot hinged on so much. Like, they're gonna kill all the mutants? That's what you're gonna do? And I was like, and Jean Grey, and what? Fucking terrifying. And Stryker's whole character also scared me. And of course I watched like a summary to re-up on like what happens in the end and everything. Wait, that's X-Men 2, right? Am I right? Am I getting mixed up?
Yeah. It's actually based on the comic book by the name, I think God Loves, Man Kills. And the comic book is so much better. But in the comic, Stryker is a like religious zealot. He's like a priest. But in the movie, they make him a government stooge because the government kind of, they ostracize people like this. Sorry.
No, I don't know if you heard me, but I just said they're the same thing.
And nowadays, you're not wrong. Fuck.
But they also do that cool thing where they team up with Magneto. I'll get to it when I get to my ranking in it, but I just want to say, like, that's the last time I watched it. I do have a special love for the first X-Men movies, and I want to keep tying it back to nostalgia, but when I went back and watched, like, summaries and reviews of these movies, they just hold up. And so few things, like, this was the first set of movies to really try to do the team of fucking heroes things before Avengers. Everyone keeps saying that Avengers was the first one to do the fucking, like, X-Men did a good job in the first 3 movies too. Even though nobody liked the third movie, you can at least say the first 2 movies did a great job at doing team of heroes. You learned people's stories, you felt for them, you got scared for them when they were like gonna be in peril, and no one gives them credit for it because nobody liked the fucking last movie. Anyways, my number 8 is X-Men Apocalypse.
That is my number 8.
Oh shit, this is working out nicely. This didn't work out that nicely when we did the Spider-Man ones. Mostly it was me and Joe matching up on almost every single movie. And you had like your own specific different list. What's your number 8? Oh!
Shit, okay, we're in sync on this one. Awesome.
This is so funny. I just want to say that me and Joe have been keeping our rankings so incredibly secret from each other. No discussions. The movie will end and we'll sit there like, okay.
Yep.
Because we rewatched, I think, 4 movies, watch/rewatch, like 3 or 4 movies in order to like complete watching all the movies in this list. Mm. So like we sat there and we're like, so that was anyways, so I'll talk to you later.
Okay, next movie tomorrow.
So X-Men Apocalypse, who wants to kick it off, shall I?
Who wants to start beating the dead horse?
So, for the sake of the audience, X-Men Apocalypse is from the new timeline. It is the movie right after Days of Future Past, using all the new team that they set up in the
1974,
1980s, right? Because Days of Future Past is 70s, then it's 80s, then Dark Phoenix is in the 90s.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so this is in the 80s, and it's with, it's just before the Dark Phoenix movie. And I don't know, the villain they set up for this one, I was like not feeling him. Like I liked the idea of him very much, but he wasn't compelling as a character. Like,
also, he didn't really have a name. Just saying, he didn't really have a name.
You're fucking right. I can't think of one, but I'm also bad with the names. Do you know if he had a name, Eddie?
Apocalypse.
It was just Apocalypse. Oh my god!
There's a scene in the movie where he's like, "Oh, I've gone by Ra, and I've gone by like other names of gods," and then he's like, "You can call me this." I don't know what this was.
They just didn't set him up well beyond his entire like back history, which was dope. Like them saying like that he kept getting put into bodies of different like mutants and compiling powers over and over again for centuries. Super dope. Why was he boring as hell? Like, you've been alive for 1,000,000 centuries, so is Logan, and he's cool, and he has like a leather jacket. You're like blue, and why are you so quiet? Like, not a very compelling evil character who just wants to destroy the world for whatever reason, but he also wants friends.
Well, he wanted to kill all the human non-mutants.
Right. So he's just Magneto, but like blue and quiet.
Well, no, he actually wants to kill mutants too. His whole idea was survival of the fittest. So if we bring forth the apocalypse, whoever survives will be worthy enough to worship me.
You know, that's fair, but again, not that compelling. It's very similar to the Stryker story, but it's just like a guy with powers trying to do it, and the whole thing where his like powers were compatible with so many different people was cool, but because they did it with like 3+ characters, it was weird. Like him being in Charles's mind, but also like, which they took forever, by the way, to bring Jean Grey.
It's like she was Grey into it. It's like they made her scared of her powers for the whole movie.
She's so fucking strong, and she's sitting there chilling while Charles' brain is melting out of his fucking ears.
No.
And everyone's like, "What's happening?" And she's like, "Yeah, it doesn't look good, guys."
You know, I actually loved it though when Charles beat the shit out of Apocalypse in his brain.
That was dope. But like, to hold back Jean Grey, I mean, I guess maybe they wanted to set her up more like in the very end to be the hero, because she had to be, because she was the strongest. Yeah. But like, it made, I mean, I guess again she was just scared, but it just makes no sense for he to be like, "Oh my god," like took way too long to help Charles. That dude is beating the shit out of him in his brain.
And he's just saying, "Jean, help me," like 4 times, and then she finally like turns around and says, "I'll help you."
She's like, "I got this. I'm in it here," and she fucking comes in and beats the fucking door down, and we're like, "Thank you, finally, Jesus Christ." But
what's called?
Like, also, Storm's story could have been cooler. They set up her whole thing, and it was just like,
powers.
She's very cool,
and the actress, pretty cool.
Actress very cool. Storm is a really dope character,
yeah.
But her setup was like, when we started watching it, Joe was like, "Is that Storm?" And I was like, "Storm has white hair." And then, you know, he turns her into Storm, and I'm like, "Oh."
Fuck, did anyone else feel like the only good thing and the worst thing in this film was Magneto's like little family death?
Super.
That was so depressing.
That arc was the reason why I wanted to put this higher on the list, but the rest of the movie doesn't really allow for that.
That's true. I want a whole Magneto entire, like, I just, like, his whole entire timeline, if someone were to, like, supercut all of his scenes from his, like, very beginning of history and, like, First Class to, like, this, it's so dark! And it's so
depressing, though.
So depressing, but he, like, everything about what happens to him just makes sense to how he is as a character. Like, of course everything gets ripped away from me constantly over and over again. I don't deserve it. And I'm trying to make myself believe that I deserve something better, which is why I'm gonna fucking kill everybody and they deserve to die. And not me, because I try to be cool and everyone fucks me over.
Sounds about right. Fucking Joe, what else do you hate about this movie? The oversized blue Smurf, I hope?
I want to actually make something that's always fun. The Quicksilver scenes.
Love them.
I know this isn't like something that people will sleep on. It's very well known that these scenes are very fun. Fast is fun, and they did a good job with his scenes for the most part.
So good.
Did he have like a scene where he was doing his speed thing in this one? Like to a song? I don't remember in this one.
No, that was in Days of Future Past.
And in Dark Phoenix, right? Was it only those two?
Yeah,
no.
In Dark Phoenix.
Wait, did he have one in Dark Phoenix? I don't remember that. He had one in Days of Future Past and First Class.
Saves everybody from the exploding mansion.
Yeah, that's in Days of Future Past, not Dark Phoenix. I'm pretty confident in that one, actually.
The house explodes. Oh yeah, you're right. She's fucking dead in Dark Phoenix at the end, but she helped remake the house, so it has to be.
Okay, yeah. She's right.
Boom.
Okay, well, I just wanted to bring the Quicksilver scenes up. That's something we haven't brought up so far, even though we've gone over the movie where it happened. Very fun. Cool.
Super dope. I am disappointed that he didn't say to Magneto, "You're my dad." I get it, because his character definitely would have just been like, "You're my dad! Boogie, woogie, woogie!" Which wouldn't have gone well in that scene. But, I don't know. It would have given Magneto a little more of a push in that scene whatsoever. And also, just in talking about Magneto's overall story, Magneto is right. The end.
I just thought something really fucked up just now.
What?
What if Quicksilver had been like, Daddy? And then like he was like, I have another child? What do you mean? I have a sister? You had a sister.
No. Oh my god.
Sorry, I got that from Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh no.
Does anyone else feel also, again, this is like Dark Phoenix, they didn't take the time to set up the story, so it was a real disappointment by the end?
Yeah.
Oh, like they're all working together, and then she just kills him.
Yeah. Well, also like
help.
Well, also like fucking. I think Apocalypse is too big of a character to just be like one and done and be the first one that the new team, the young team, takes out. Like, no, he should be either the final boss or like almost the final boss.
He could have been their Thanos.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, shit. In the comics, the few times that Apocalypse and Thanos have gone toe to toe, it's been a pretty good fight because Apocalypse has a lot of different powers at his disposal. A bunch of them weren't even in the goddamn movie, but
I think they just wanted to these movies, because they know that they're starting fresh, they're trying to like bring people in with these big crazy things, because I feel like they're trying to play catch up with the whole Marvel thing where they're already tackling these great big crazy bad guys, and they can because they worked for it. They worked for it for 10 fucking years.
Yeah,
so they can do whatever they want.
They set that shit up.
Yeah, and so X-Men's trying to bring people into theaters, but instead they end up with movies with Dark Phoenix, where people walk out of the theater maybe having missed one or two, like I did. I went to see Dark Phoenix having not seen Days of Future Past, and I was fucking confused. I was like, what? Why is everybody young? where is, like, what's happening? Is this like after First Class or something? And that's probably how a lot of people left that movie, being like, I mean, it was kind of good, but that was weird. Instead of taking the time to build their characters. I guess because they've already taken so long, they feel like, whatever, you get it.
Did anyone else feel weird when, like, you saw, like, super young 16-year-old Jean Grey and, like, mid-40s Hugh Jackman? They had, like, a weird moment because you know what's going to come, like, 20 years from now.
I know. I was sitting there, like, so are we not going to pretend that she's 16? Or, like, what's good? Like, what's happening? Like, what is the mind conversation? I wish we had seen it just so that I didn't get the creep vibes that I was getting. Like, I wish they let us in and have a little just, like, he was like, oh, fuck, this is Jean, but young. Or something. Or, like, he wouldn't even have known her at that point yet, right? So, like, or would he have? I'm still confused. That whole scene, I was like, which one is this? Is this X2? Is this Logan? Is this, like, what's up?
Yeah. It's 100% awkward.
Yeah, it was cool, though, to, like, have that moment. I think it's really funny how ageless Hugh Jackman is, that they just have him in fucking everything and no one else is ever going to play him. Like,
if I remember correctly, they actually had to CGI undo some of his muscles so that he didn't look as ripped.
Yes, that's king shit. Only man is too jacked. Hugh Jackman!
Look, Hugh, your muscles, we need you to tone him down a bit. You mean, like, get more cut? No. I mean, as in, we need you to get some fat. Want me a bulk? No. We need you to look like a human man.
He was like, sorry, boss, not possible. And they were like, that's okay, bud. We'll spend a couple billion to make it happen. Or whatever, 1,000.
God, I want to see Hugh Jackman work out with The Rock. I wonder how that workout would go.
I think it would just be very friendly. I always forget that Hugh Jackman has that Australian accent that's super, like, what's good.
He posted that one workout picture. If the bar ain't bending, you just pretended. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay, so what? That was all. We all collectively kicked the shit out of Apocalypse for number 8, right?
Yes,
right.
That is correct.
Lauren, you're number 7.
All right, this is where the list started to get very difficult for me, as you can probably already tell by how hard I've been fighting for the movies below this fucking one. But number 7 for me is X-Men 2. Super dope. A lot of people's favorite in that X-Men series. It has that it has one of the people's like favorite fucking fights between Wolverine and another character, which is that girl who also has the adamantite claws. Super dope fight. That whole thing with Stryker's son making the hallucinations for Charles to fucking use Cerebro to kill everybody is funny. I mean, not funny, but like crazy.
I love when everyone dies.
I love it when everyone dies.
Jesus.
Which is, again, the reason why I was so stressed out during this movie that I didn't finish watching it the last time I tried to watch it. There was so much at stake, and I, even though I've seen the fucking end of this movie too before, like in theaters when it happened, and it hits different, but, and it's a team movie, and it's dope, but so that movie almost feels like it's way longer than it is. Like, there's so much happening. You're focused on like different groups of like the kids who are like trapped there or whatever, and the whole thing with Stryker and Charles is happening, and the thing with Logan and Jean Grey and Scotty Summers, and like there's just so much happening that's why obviously I got so overwhelmed. Which this is also the one, and then they team with Magneto, which is dope. But again, they get to choose whatever they want to do. They're like, oh, Magneto, that guy that we were fighting last time, he almost fucking killed Rogue. That was crazy, right? Anyway, we need your help. He's like, okay, cool. And yeah, it was just really busy for me compared to the other ones. The story wasn't as like hard hitting because most of the biggest action like plot wasn't action driven. It was all like sitting in a room trying to like make this thing work with Charles while other people were trying to rescue kids. Like it wasn't like boom, like flashy. And it doesn't need to be, but it just wasn't like as cool. And the ending with Jean Grey like getting washed away by that wave and fucking dying is crazy that she goes that way. That sets up for the next movie. But again, like not as big as like, it's just like really sad. It's not like her like dying in the crazy fight or someone fucking kills her and it's like horrible and you watch the life go from her eyes. It's like, oh, there she goes. Well, damn, that sucks. Sorry, Scotty. Like, sorry, Logan. Let's dip. This fucking movie's over before Magneto kills all the humans. And that's why it's my number 7. We're reaching the upper ranks of this list.
Jesus. Okay.
Okay, I am with Lauryn with the difficulty as we get closer to the top. I'm going to say just the original X-Men.
Rip.
Me too.
And I'm going to say that.
This is working out. Against me, of course.
I'm going to go with like, I was really young when this one came out. Haven't seen it in a long time. I reviewed it, of course. And it's just, I like the stakes of the movies. I like what's at the cost, and I feel like the next 2 movies after this really like have that like something. If something doesn't go right, things go awfully wrong. And this one, not so much. I mean, Rogue, right? But Rogue. I know people really like Rogue, and she plays a pretty big part in this, but not about it.
I mean, I don't know what it is that I'm not really a big fan of Rogue. I think it's something that has to do with how I felt about her when I was a kid. I think I just didn't like the idea that someone could touch you and fucking kill you. And I didn't like the idea of, like, I don't know, she just seems, like, so emotional and, like, to be, like...
Overly fragile.
Yeah, for her to be, like, I don't know, man. She got some shit going on. And also, I don't know about her character, though her almost dying at the end of that movie. Super cool thing that happens with her hair to make it all white. And her origin story is super dope. Her almost killing her boyfriend is hilarious and awesome.
Man, that was kind of terrifying. I feel bad for her, man. She can't touch anybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. And I am terrified of her and for her. But, like, that is the dopest of origin stories, to almost kill a guy by kissing him. Fucking amazing.
Sure, she walks down back alleys and doesn't give a fuck.
No, absolutely not. You know what? That bitch can go running at night, and we stand.
Nice. Did you guys find it like really cheesy and a little campy at some parts? Because I know like that's one of the things I didn't like about it was the amount of cheese on it. If that makes sense.
Cheesy wasn't cheesy in like 2006 when this came out. Cheesy was funny.
I guess what you could say, it didn't age well, and yeah, I kind of.
Funny. I will never be on the side of against being cheesiness or like cringe stuff. Like something has to be really cringe for me to be upset.
Like Captain Marvel?
What?
Captain Marvel. Remember how cheesy that one was?
Oh, I didn't watch Captain Marvel.
You haven't seen Captain Marvel?
No.
Don't.
See but you know what? I think I agree with you on you know me better when it comes to movies and things like this. A lot of people were like, you have to see this movie. You're going to love it. And it's the kind of people that I would hear it from that I was like, would I? And people would mention things about it and I'd be like, would I like it? It gets to a point. But I don't know. For me, the original X-Men, it did a good job. I like, again, someone drags, like, fucking Logan from God knows where, and he's like, here I am, doing this shit again, for whatever reason.
Wasn't Charles like, it's nice to see you again, old friend, and Logan's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Like, which is better and better every time.
You got shot in the head, my friend. We'll talk about it in a moment.
And then you won't. We'll let you know, and then you'll spend the next, 15 movies being like, damn, what happened to me?
I just realized something. I think it was a creative risk having Rogue be so young, because I know in the comics, but more than that in the TV show, in the cartoon, wasn't she I don't know how to say this without being incorrect.
Grown. You could say grown.
An adult?
That's it. She was eye candy in the other ones, but they actually they tried to make her a compelling character in the movies, which I'll give them credit for that. Like, they didn't take the easy way out. They weren't like, just put her in a bikini, it'll be fine, No, like, they actually tried to make her someone compelling and a better story, I guess.
Yeah, even though they, come back around and diminish it, as people say, in X3 with her, love triangle story with Iceman, whatever the fuck.
Bobby?
Bobby. I think that's the name.
I think so.
I keep calling him Iceman. I'm not even sure if that's his mutant name. I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. I call him the refrigerator because
Oh, such a good moment. Everything that's like that little fucking stupid Also, this is what I do with my powers. That's just for small conveniences and shit like that. So fun. That's also why I like the X-Men movies. The school. Something about having a base of operations in the school and the kids. I think it's super dope and I don't know, friendly, and it's familiar, so that I don't have to be fucking confused every time something happens. Even going into the new movies, you're at the school, and you're like, oh, it's the school, I know where we are, I know what's happening,
yeah.
Professor, bullshit, whatever.
I just realized something. Did anyone else notice how fucking useless all those students were in X2? Why weren't they fighting back?
They're kids!
Fucking fight back!
Not trained to fight.
You're right. He's right. They're not trained to fight. And you want to know why? They would have fucking killed those guys, and it would have been worse. It would have been worse.
I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. You fight back.
In the middle of a political crisis where their entire existence is being questioned, and they were going there to round them up and put them in concentration camps, Eddie. Killing them wouldn't have helped anybody.
Strange man in home. Murder now.
Listen. I'm all for Magneto and fucking Charles and all the big boys showing up and killing those guys, but if the kids started fighting back, it would have been over. Those bitches...
They wouldn't have been kidnapped, and the second half of this film would have happened.
They would have been sitting down in a room figuring out the Sentinels 5 movies fucking early if the kids had started killing those soldiers.
No, you know what would have happened? At X2, the second half would have been Nightcrawler dropping the bodies of the soldiers on the front of the White House lawn saying, what else you got?
Nightcrawler is a sweet boy, and he would never do that.
I don't know, man. What did he murder 30 Secret Service agents? At the
he was brainwashed. Oh, are you talking about later? I'm talking about when he was going to kill the president. But
wait. So we just teed off on number 7s, I think. Lauren, what was your number 6?
My number 6 is Deadpool, and no one can be mad at me about it. Because it's a solo movie that has almost 0 X-Men in it, and it's halfway up the fucking list because it's that good. It's that good. That's all I have to fucking say. It's a great movie. Everyone fucking agrees, but I did not go into that movie thinking jack shit about X-Men, to be honest. I forgot that Deadpool was even part of the X-Men franchise at all when I went to go see that movie. if I even knew that at that point. It has all of the best like script writing from most of the movies. Like the comedy is on point. The heartbreaking fucking like drama, the way that it's squeezed in between chapters of like, anyways, that's my life. So X gonna give it to you. Fucking bullshit. Like it's so fucking good. He's very much that like Wolverine-esque character, but if Wolverine like had way more like childhood trauma and
Wolverine and Spider-Man put together.
Yeah, Wolverine and Spider-Man put together, that would absolutely make Deadpool, because Wolverine has too much like adult and like war trauma to be the kind of person who's like joking. Like Deadpool is definitely the hero of like Gen Z, like very quick-witted, don't give a fuck. Oh, you're gonna kill me? That's convenient. I don't give a shit. Let's go. It's great, and it deserves a number 6 only because he has no team, and people won't even want to team up with him, as you see in both 1 and 2. You know, they get to the end of 2, and he kind of has a team. But like, that's all I gotta say. I love it, and if it had a separate listing where its own score would be higher, no one dragged me.
And you know, you're really lucky that the rollback is not very popular. Otherwise, like, this would be so much worse for you.
Whose fault is that, Eddie?
All right.
Shit's getting first off in here, Joe. Say something.
I'll wait for like my spots on the list where Deadpool is to comment on how I feel about it.
And that's fair.
My number 6 is X-Men 3.
Really, that high?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm suffering. I'm suffering daily.
Defend this now, sir.
Okay, so you gotta remember, I was a kid, right? So the memory of this movie isn't like amazing, right? But when I think of X-Men, like growing up, that was the movie I thought about, and like just when you see it as a kid, it's like dramatic and it's like powerful, and it's not something you forget, and it's really cool to see like this person who's so powerful that she's just disintegrating people, and of course you can't understand the complex relationships that is taking place, like between Magneto and Mystique, mm-hmm. or Charles and Magneto. You don't really gain a grasp of that. But also having Wolverine like just slowly disintegrating, walking towards Jean, that scene was really cool. Like that's just an awesome scene.
Brutal too, actually. It is
insane, and just that is why. Like I said, it gets harder as I get up the list to like move these movies around, especially with all the childhood nostalgia like attached to them. So I'll leave it at that. I understand the killing of everyone, ruining the timeline, quote unquote, and smaller movies have killed people before and fixed it, right? So this is the movie that kind of set up their ability to do that, and then they do it later in Endgame. Mm. It's what they do. And I think it doesn't deserve as much hate as it gets, but it would have helped if the gap between the movies weren't so weird.
The Wolverine before Origins is what they should have done. I think the reception would have leveled out eventually, but there's nothing to like back X3 onto to feel like it did anything. It's like if you ended at Iron Man 2 and then did like an origin story for Iron Man all over again.
Killmonger?
It's the guy at the racetrack with the fucking things.
Oh, fucking Whiplash.
Yeah, it's like if you ended with Iron Man 2, and it's not that bad, but if you had stopped there and focused on some other shit, everyone would have been like, that's a terrible fucking movie.
There's also the intertwining of each of the movies that kind of help guide the slow progression along, and
it's true. They just need
to have advantage of that.
Sit in a fucking room and map this all out, and it's absolutely not what they're doing. It's
not the Halo playbook. It's a bunch of ideas in a room that says, "Hey, this seems like fun." Yeah. Pick it off the wall.
And I get that because it's really what's drawing an audience, and you're trying to get people to come in so you can make more money, so you can do cooler shit that involves planning things out for longer. But because they keep half-assing these kinds of things and like not following up and not, using great continuation and shit like that, people are going to keep coming back to the theater confused and in halves. Anyways, what's yours, Eddie?
My number 6, and I'm sorry it's so high on the list, the Wolverine. No, just because it was a cool, like, solo film. Like, it was finally, it's the second best Wolverine film, which, I mean, I guess that's saying something. What's it called? But it's also, again, character-driven. I like that they used a villain most people never heard of, the Silver Samurai. Not a lot of people know who the fuck that is. I also thought it was kind of a compelling story for them to put together. Logan does something admirable at the end of World War II, and saves a guy from one of the atom bombs. I like those little touches.
Super dope, and comes back and bites him in the ass.
It really does. Well, also, and I know it's a stupid thing convenient tool, but they took away his power to regenerate, even if it was just for a moment. It made me feel like, oh, so they're trying to actually put him in real danger here. Awesome. I knew he wasn't gonna die, but okay, there's a little more risk involved versus all the other films. They use Viper, which is again a very not well known character. I like that. You don't have to go back to the old Mystique Magneto well every single time.
Well, they could have.
And I agree. I think using new villains is cool. I just, like previous, I wish we would have gotten more into that and less of like, look, a bunch of ninjas. Or Yakuza.
Wasn't there a scene where like they all shoot him with arrows from like every direction to like tie him down?
Yeah, they're shooting arrows with rope, and they're just like loading him in the back, and he's just walking just with 100 rope in him, and they're all pulling him back.
Well, his
that looks dope.
Tower.
That looks awesome though, like that scene. Also, the fight scene on the bullet train was also, I thought, pretty fucking creative.
Super dope. That one's
jumping
crazy.
Up, ducking down.
Yeah, I think for number 6, mine used to be Wolverine actually, and I switched it for Deadpool. Last minute decisions.
Shit.
But I thought I would say.
And your number 5?
My number 5. Drum roll, please, as we hit the top 5 of this fucking thing. My number 5 is the original X-Men. And it's because it's the OG, man. It's so good. I love the bringing together of characters, seeing the school for the first time, especially through like Logan's eyes of like, where the fuck am I? This is so weird. Like some weird little haven for like dorks who can't use their powers yet. Like it's so funny, and it's just such a great like beginner story. Like I love to be introduced. I love a good origin story. That's why I fucking loved all of the starter stories of all the Spider-Man movies. I don't fucking mind watching another origin story again and again and again. So, if they'd done a better job with Origins Wolverine, it could have been cool. But this setup for all the characters, I really think that they just did a great fucking job when nothing like this existed prior. And it just show you all these characters, and you don't have to know who they are too much to understand what's going on, and they're like showing you kind of their story and who they are and how they relate. The whole thing of Scott versus Logan on Jean Grey, which is never an overt storyline, it's kind of like a, hey buddy, back off of my girl. For the whole series, it's so fucking hilarious because it's like, I don't know you and I don't need to know you. I know that Jean Grey's hot, and that's all that I really need to know. And it just flows so well. I don't know what that fucking sideways hand is. It better not be on Jean Grey being hot because she's hot and you're wrong. Oh my God. Here and now, everyone in the world disagrees with you. She is beautiful and you're wrong.
I like her better when she was being kidnapped in Taken 2.
Boo, you're wrong. Anyways. So I just think And the storyline for this one, super dope. The political climate around mutants, I think, has always been a great allegory, and it never ceases to be fucking relevant to our shitty fucking lives in the real world. But, like, the whole thing of, like, I think mutants should fucking reveal themselves while, like, 15 mutants are sitting in Congress like, ha, I disagree. It's so good. It's just so, you can't get any better than that, than Jean Grey standing at a podium being like, I don't know if that's a good idea, guys.
Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want that. Trust
and then turning that guy into the water goo.
Oh, he's turning into a puddle of water.
Oh shit, that was brutal. I remember that.
So good. It just doesn't get better than this. And that whole scene in the end where he's Magneto's trying to use Rogue to turn all the people in the fucking Politico audience into fucking mutants. Like, this is the movie where it stands like the most above ground that wrong. Like, Charles, I get it, and you're like super chill and you just want to work with everybody, but as experience shows, like 15 fucking movies later, it doesn't work. And Magneto's right. It's fucking, that's all I'm saying. Anyways, that's my number 5, and I stand by it.
Joe, number 5. Let's see if we match up again. Swipe right, Joe. Swipe right.
It's gonna be a no. I put number 5 as Logan.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. But there's a lot of great movies here. This one, it was just so fucking sad. Oh, holy shit.
Is that your biggest qualm with it? Is that it was sad?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it didn't have enough comic relief. Like, it was just fucking blow, and then it was a blow, and then it was a blow. It hurt, man. It hurt.
It's like a sad song that you cry to. It's like, it hurts, but it hurts good.
Does not hurt good. Does not hurt good, Eddie. I walked out of that theater. I had cried so much that I had a migraine for the next hour and a half. And I was just dead. Oh my God. It was devastating. Incredibly good. If bittersweet had like a synonym, but like way more intense, a bittersweet ending to Logan's story is to, like, I don't know, die for the little girl, telling her to not end up like him, even though she was created to be exactly that, is so damn horrible. And the whole thing, the another part that gets me is Charles being killed by X229 or some shit?
Yeah. Or X something.
The other fucking Logan. Being killed by him and thinking that it's Logan and, like, feeling like he deserves it. I hate it here. Like, what do you mean? So sad. And after that, like, sweet little family dinner, we all felt normal for 5 seconds, even though little girls, like, trying to eat with their hands or something. Oh, it's just, I mean, terrible. I mean, crying for 2 hours, it does it to you. And that's why Logan is my number 4.
Jesus. Okay.
Thought I'd say it since we're already talking about it.
Yeah. Time for your number 5, Eddie.
Might as well tie in my number 5 and my number 4. Deadpool's 2 and then Deadpool the original OG, respectively.
Okay. I knew you would have them close together.
I mean, they're both so similar. They're both so good. Like, I couldn't separate them. It was pretty hard.
I actually just have a continuous stream of water.
How do you choke on oxygen?
Easily, every day.
Jesus. Okay. Well, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, Deadpool. Deadpool 1. Made on a shoestring budget for a superhero film. I think it was $58 million. They fucking took $20 million from their budget and gave it to some other project that failed miserably. I think it might have been The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't remember, but fucking they took money from their budget. Ooh.
You've been there.
We already talked about this.
It wasn't the best, but fucking anyway. Ryan Reynolds, this was his passion project. You know, that footage that got leaked on YouTube. The 2 minutes of, like, test footage just to see, like, what would it be like, and everyone loved it. The only reason he played Deadpool in the X-Men Origins Wolverine was to play Deadpool on the big screen to try and get the movie made. The OG Deadpool is amazing, and Deadpool 2 takes everything that film set and built on top of it. Fun fact, the reason why they used the gun so much in the first Deadpool, they didn't have the budget for the CGI sword. So they had to fucking squibs are cheaper than a sword, I guess. And then Deadpool 2 just like fucking ups the ante. They're like, now we got the budget, let's fucking do this, let's go. And they get so violent, but it's also a really fun, well-written story, shockingly. You know, Cable coming back to kill the kid, you know, Deadpool trying to save Fire Fist from becoming a monster. Especially that one scene where he basically stops Russell from doing what he did at the end of Deadpool, which is actually just fucking shoot the bad guy. Somehow Celine Dion also with Ashes was awesome. Like, she hasn't gone that hard since, like, Titanic, and I thank her.
Oh, yeah. I like I said, those movies are fucking... They did a great job. I had no idea the budget was so small. If you had told me that, like, right after I watched that movie, that fucking blows my mind. $58 million? It does not feel like a $58 million movie.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And they really did. I'm so glad that Ryan Reynolds got to come back and really that whole career back into a career after, you know, the wonderful successes of Green Lantern and the previous Deadpool.
Christ. Deadpool 2 where he shoots himself. Hey, you're in the big leagues now, kid. Fucking shoots him with the blood all over the goddamn script.
Oh, it's so funny, but it's even funnier because Green Lantern is actually the set where he met Blake Lively, his now wife, like pregnant with their second kid or some shit like that. You know, so you have to hate and not hate that movie for almost just that. But it's the funniest. I can't think of another funny, like a funnier superhero movie.
There isn't one. There is not one.
There isn't one. You're right. And I remember in the like year coming up to it coming out, everyone was like sitting like so fucking scared that this movie was not going to be rated R. And I'm so glad that they were rated R. It would not have been Deadpool if it was PG-13. And it wouldn't have been good.
Well, also, I guess Deadpool kind of laid the groundwork for Logan to be rated R. Joker was rated R. Birds of Prey was rated R. I mean, laid the groundwork.
Yeah, for sure. And
successfully.
It's definitely becoming where a lot of the movies that are coming out now that are still connected to things that are from like our generation's childhood is they have to grow up with us because we're the ones that are funding it the same as we were when we were kids. So if you're still like trying to sell those movies to 15-year-olds, it's not, well, I mean, 15-year-olds probably work, but like 12-year-olds and 9-year-olds, it's not going to be the same, and we're not going to show up for it. And they know that, and they're learning versus, you know, these other shitty movies that have come out, you know, cough, fucking Justice League shit. Like,
cough, Captain Marvel.
Cough, Captain Marvel. They need to step up to the plate and know their audience. Like, and they're learning, and some of them are learning, and some of them are making it by without having to do that. I praise, you know, a lot of the Marvel movies for keeping our attention for so long, despite like never saying the fuck word, you know.
God, I wonder when they're finally gonna say it. I was kind of hoping they would in Infinity War or in Endgame, but disappoint me in other ways, Marvel. So, all right, so that was technically my number 5 and 4 at the same time. Y'all go.
I said my number 4 was Logan. So have you said yours?
I'm on 4?
You're on 4.
My number 4 is X2.
Respectable.
Gang.
The movie slaps. Also, I love the idea of like Charles having the you know, he has the Thanos snap. He's Stryker's son, just has to make him do it, and then how that plot point of him telling Charles to kill all the mutants, right, flips immediately when Magneto gets his hands on I don't even know what's his name, but hallucination guy.
I forget.
And it's so all of a sudden the weapon's turned against him, and it's so dramatic and it's so strong and it's so cool. And also Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, my man.
Did you ever have? Was I the only one that ever had nightmares about Nightcrawler, or were you guys too?
No,
I don't know how I felt about him the first time that I saw him, but definitely upon rewatching when I was older, he just became like one of my favorite mutants. You just have to love the guy that like is almost OP. Like it's just too fucking good to be this crazy looking dude, and he's also like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to try to kill the president. Like it is so good. It's just.
I had a video game of X-Men, and you could play as Nightcrawler. One of the most fun characters to play as. All right, there's no way I was gonna have nightmares about this guy.
Who sucks to play as in that video game? Rogue. That's probably why I don't like Rogue.
Video game are you guys talking about?
There was a video game X-Men that came out on the Xbox, not the 360, the original Xbox that our family had, and we had like maybe 10 games with it. Nickelodeon's Party Blast, X-Men, Karaoke. I can't even think of any more. Burnout. Yes! But there was X-Men game. I can't even remember most of what you did, but you could play as different of the mutants.
I don't know what the game is called.
it's a fucking Xbox.
It's an X-Men movie. It's an X-Men game done.
Yeah. One of the things I remember is that if you played as Wolverine, your health would constantly regenerate, but if you were any other character, that wouldn't be the case.
That's kind of fucking cheap, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely cheap. But as a kid, it's perfect because you have no idea what you're doing. there are so many. You play as like a team of 4 and you like switch between the characters as you're playing or whatever. All 3 of the other characters would be dead. Wolverine, always alive. 10 out of 10.
I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Great movie. Great character. Great pizza, Papa John's.
We hit 3 now?
We are in the top 3.
Yes. Lauryn, you're up.
I will physically fight both of you. My number 3 is X-Men Days of Future Past. Am I matching with you for once?
Yes.
Yes! Yes! Yeah, how low was yours? What is it, like
11?
11?
It's 11. Yeah.
Fucking crazy. No, I can't. I understand your reasons, but I just don't feel the same fucking way.
Fake plot.
No, absolutely super fucking dope. And the way that my top 3 is set up, you'll kind of see as my reveals come through, but I think it's obviously becoming more obvious. But I love the new characters, that the new actors and the new characters for all the, Charles and Magneto and, the whole team and everybody, here and there on, Scotty Summers and all that shit. Which, ouch, by the way, when he fucking watches his brother die, that shit sucked. And so brutally and so randomly, and you didn't even see like anything crazy. You just kind of disappeared. But Quicksilver in this movie, super dope. Just the idea of going back into the 70s and all this like rando shit with like the storyline is happening, and it's like, just make it not happen, Logan. Since you've been alive for 18 million years, all you have to do is go back in your real body and be like, all right, Charles, who can walk for some reason, let's fucking make this happen. So good. The trauma, the drama, the just every level of it, incredible. Just in being able to have both universes of characters, even if it was for the last time, was just amazing to me. Like seeing Kitty Pryde and like even like in the end seeing old Jean Grey and Scott Summers like for the last time that you'll see them, I think it was just incredible. And it's like, goodbye, like I love you guys. I'll see you in 30 fucking years when the next series ends, but you won't, but you already did. It's so good. I don't know, whatever.
Well, I loved how 2 things, how Charles had a bit of a heroin addiction.
I know, right?
You don't fucking expect that. Or the school also is like completely wrecked. Like you were not expecting that. You thought, oh, he's gonna get all the students and start training them all soon. No, the school's completely fucking wrecked. Charles is a heroin addict. Fucking Beast is like enabling him for some reason.
Fully.
And yeah, I like how the 2 universes. Everyone always is like, what happens if this? What happens if that? They fucking did it. In Days of Future Past, they actually had 2 universes collide. None of this will never happen. DC versus Marvel crap. No. They actually had the original trilogy, the original actors, and the old guys link. The only real kind of iffy thing was how Logan was the one that went into the past. In the comics, it was Kitty Pryde, if I'm not mistaken, but they did it because they figured we can pay Hugh Jackman. He good lead. He get money.
Well, because his character is also super dope. If they had put Kitty Pryde in that main role, everyone would have been like, Kitty Pryde, last time I saw Ellen Page in an X-Men movie, I was 11.
And she called someone dickhead for some reason?
You love to see it.
But no, yeah, Days of Future Past. Also, it did something that most other films can't do, and it fucking corrected a timeline. Like, they could have used this as a reset button to do anything they wanted to from this point forward. They just didn't do it.
Quote unquote corrected. I still feel it did not need to be corrected, but again, I love the new characters. And also, I like that they got to start in the fucking old, like in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s for the next few movies. Because of this one, I didn't expect them to do that. I don't know how far in the future I really thought they were going to be. I thought it would just be present day, which I guess would have been crazy. But it's just cool, especially because that kind of stuff is hitting right now. Everybody loves shit. So it was a smart move. I wish they'd stayed in those decades longer. They could have. They stopped, I imagine. I imagine Movie After Dark Phoenix is going to be set in the 2000s.
Yeah. No, they're not doing another one, remember? Marvel took him over. I mean, yeah, right. Fucking Marvel took him over.
The New Mutants.
Oh, that's right. It's supposed to be like a horror trilogy, but it's going to be a one-off, I think.
I'm so confused. I was excited. Now I'm not excited. I didn't really think about that. But I know that Finn Wolfhard is going to be in it, and I love that little bastard, so I'll watch it.
Wolfhard?
The kid from Stranger Things. Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, no. I thought you meant that was his, mutant name was Wolfhard. I'm like, what?
Oh, man. That new mutant, Wolfhard, he's the best. He's on-screen presence.
Of course, through walls? You can smell him coming?
God.
Jesus. Joe, your number 3?
My number 3 is Deadpool 1.
Damn. That goes crazy.
The Deadpool movies came out, and I becoming an adult and being able to do things by myself and watch these movies with my friends and just have a good time and laugh at the inappropriate jokes and also just great movie. Ryan Reynolds, great job.
I watched Deadpool 1 with my parents.
Ugh.
Okay, I put a seat. I made someone sit between us, but I knew something was going to happen. I forget who. Maybe my sister.
Joe, wait, were you even able to watch this movie without your parents when it came out?
Give or take a month, yes.
Fair.
Yeah. 2016, yeah. But a little bit of time.
Lauren, number 2.
My number 2. This was a battle. I'm gonna get dragged for my number 1, and I don't care. My number 2 was X-Men First Class. That's right. That movie rocked my fucking world. Extremely good. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Watched it 15 fucking times. Would watch it again. It's just so good. The whole Magneto's origin story goes fucking crazy. How Charles ended up in the chair. It goes fucking crazy. A lot of it is, for me, from Charles and Eric's friendship and how it devolves. I think because you see, it's like when you meet somebody and they're cool, but you just have a difference of too much shit. There's too much of a difference of opinion when it comes to the kinds of things that matter in the long run. Where they were great friends, they loved each other even, but it couldn't have lasted because they were fundamentally different and they believed in different things. And you could see it just on paper. I mean, Magneto comes of age in a fucking concentration camp and has his parents killed, and that's how his powers come to be. Meanwhile, Charles is chilling in his fucking mansion with his blue friend, being like, yeah, and then I went to Oxford and I'm writing a paper on whatever, and I just like kind of like mind trick girls into dating me and whatever, and I'm having a great time. Like, it's just...
I did not consider that at all. Fuck.
I mean, he kind of did that, right? He was like, I can read your mind. That's exactly what he did with, what's her name?
Dr. Taggart.
Yeah, McTaggart.
Oh, yeah, like, I forgot about McTaggart.
It's like his sexy little like date trick, and it's funny, and it's, you know, as much as it is probably wouldn't fly as so much in like a nowadays movie. It's funny. It's like he used to be this little playboy bastard, and it's like it explains why he's so like, well, we should work together with the president, and we should just come up with policies that'll work. Meanwhile, Magneto's like, they killed my parents and all of my people, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go no on that one.
X-Men First Class is also my number 2.
Wow.
It was a movie that like roped me back in to the X-Men movies, and it was like a different light, some things you hadn't really seen before, a new like cast of people who were going to go away and some that were going to stick around. Sick movie.
Just hits. It just fucking hits.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah. It's so good. Also, I want to say, which I guess is half fan theory and not really confirmed, but the part where Charles gets shot and like McTaggart like basically disables him, some people say that like actually he would have been fine, but it was Magneto pulling the bullet out of his spine that actually made him paraplegic. And I think that goes fucking crazy. And every time I watch that scene, I'm like, oh my God, he's ruining it. He's like fully immobilizing him and putting him into what we now know, a like 10-year depression that shuts down the fucking school. How crazy is that? Oh, it's so good.
Okay. Fuck, I kind of wish we had matched up, but we're not, and that's fine. I will defend myself to the death. Logan's my number 2.
Okay.
Which one? Okay. I understand.
I mean, it's just like you watched this guy play the same role a shit ton of times for like, what, 14, 15 years by this point? And he only got more jacked somehow as the films went. Amazing beard, but more than that, the story, you know, the daughter he never wanted, not to be mean, but the daughter he never wanted, his depression, him dealing with the fact that he may or may not have slaughtered the other mutants, like he did in Old Man Logan. Fucking, I was so depressed when I saw Charles and like his like seizures where he's attacking everyone and he's just like, he has some slight dementia. Lauryn is fucking beastly. You know, I just fucking wish that they had done a fastball special, him and his daughter. I feel like that's the only true like miss thing. But not only that though, I feel like this film was a justified, might be the best superhero death ever. And I say that including Tony Stark. Like he went out. Because think about it. Like, what did Tony die? He died saving, you know, half the universe, which is noble conquest. I'm pretty sure fucking anyone and their mom would do it. Logan had the chance to walk away. He didn't need to. He was going to go to his boat, put a gun in his mouth, pull the trigger, and end it. But then he realizes his daughter's in danger. Not the world. A handful of kids, including the daughter that he never wanted, that he's known for all of 2 weeks. I'm going to go save her. And then what happens? He dies protecting her, trying to save her. You know, he dies literally holding his heart in his hand, his daughter, you know. Don't be what I became. Be better. And he had... It's the Old West. You know, this film was compared a lot to like an old Western of, you know, the cowboy going out. And I think that's proper, you know. And especially that last scene where you see, you know, the kids buried him. And then they have like a cross, and she takes down the cross and puts it in an axe. And that just made me lose my shit. I didn't bawl, but it gave me a tear. It brought a tear to my eye that like, wow, this is goodbye.
I fucking bawled when that happened, when she turns it into an X. I was like having to hold back audible sobs. And I was also with people that I didn't know in an IMAX theater, which, by the way, that movie in IMAX, incredible. But Yeah, no, I mean, I understand why this is so close to like your number one, your top. You like love like a noble story. You love the like brave hero guy. Like you're very much. That's why you have such a thing for DC. Like that's their thing versus Marvel's like comedy duo bullshit, which I respect. But I love to have fun in a movie. I love a good like comedy thing. And Logan did beat both of my Deadpools, so I really do think it was good. But so sad. I think people like not to like say anything. I love this fucking movie, but I don't equate sad with good. I've seen a lot of really sad, really good movies. Like people will often say shit like, "Oh, The Green Mile" and "Oh, like Shawshank Redemption." Like I'm sure they're really fucking good, but you don't have to be like depressed for a movie to be good.
Yeah.
And while this did that, I think in spite of being so incredibly sad and killing a character that people fucking adored, even if it's 50 years in the future. All right.
So I think we're the final round of number ones.
Number one.
We are at our number one.
Eddie, I think if you eliminate the movies Lauryn has gone through so far, she's missing one.
I know. I will say my movie, and I'll say it with pride. My number one movie is X-Men 3 Last Stand. And I stand by it! I stand by it. Okay, and I'm gonna say what the fucking movie is about. Really, for real. Audience, if you haven't seen this fucking movie, I want you to watch it with fresh eyes. I want you to watch X-Men 1, X-Men 2, and sit down and don't think about all this crazy timeline shit and important characters or whatever, because this movie goes fucking crazy. The one of the scenes in the beginning that I think it's Angel, I'm not sure, who is in the bathroom as like a 9-year-old kid trying to cut off his wings as they're growing out of his back so that his mom and dad don't know that he's a mutant. Oh my God, scarred me for fucking life. And that's what I want. It was so good. I sat there and I was like, oh my God, what is he doing? And I'm like 10 years old, like freaking the fuck out. And his dad's like trying to open the bathroom door and his back is all bloody, goes crazy. The fact that there's a cure and the whole idea of like, what? No. Like when they are in the office, in Charles Xavier's office, and they're talking about how there's a cure, and fucking Rogue comes in and she's like, is it true? Is there a cure? And Storm is like, there's nothing wrong with you, girl who kills people when you touch them. I'm gonna go make it rain outside to prove. Like, it just goes crazy. It's just so good. I think it just has all the elements of a good blockbuster movie. When Jean Grey comes back and Scotty Summers is standing there. I know I call him Scotty and they never call him Scotty in the movie. Maybe like Logan calls it, but I think it's fucking funny. Is standing on that bridge where she died and she like materializes from the water and he's like, oh my God. And she immediately kills him. Goes crazy. He's just dead for the rest of the movie. And that sets the precedent for the whole fucking thing. You're like, they just killed Scott Summers?
And the scene where you see his glasses just like floating near the lake.
And he's dead! No! And watching Charles Xavier fucking like disintegrate into pieces, like there nothing can prepare you for that. Even knowing that this was called Last Stand, you're not going in there thinking like Magneto's gonna watch his best friends of like a million years die in front of him and then walk out being like, we have to fucking kill her. We have no choice. Like, she has to die.
Find a way. Find a way.
It's just... And when Mystique gets shot with that fucking cure, trying to save Magneto, and he's like, oh, what a pity. Seems like you're human now. Anyways, and leaves her there, naked on the floor. Oh my God, this movie hits hard and it does not fucking hold back. It doesn't care who your favorite character is, who you think is cool. Nobody is safe except for Logan. And in the end, I think it's just crazy. All the people who die, Magneto losing his powers, like it's so big blockbuster movie. You're sitting there like after they kill so many characters in the first half of the movie, You're like, what the fuck are they gonna do? What is gonna happen? And the fact that Jean Grey still dies, and worse, by somebody who's got this massive, like, weird love crush for her that is never fully acknowledged for the full 3 movies. And he's, like, already watched her die once, and he has to kill her while she's disintegrating his skin off his body. No, absolutely not. This movie does not deserve having such a bad rap. It goes fucking hard, and it's just good. It's just good. I have nothing to say. The fact that Rogue gets the cure in the end goes crazy.
And that shit does not hold up.
No. It doesn't have to. Okay? Remember how you felt at the end of fucking Infinity War when they killed, like, all those incredible characters, and you're like, what? That's what this movie was, except they didn't follow it up with another good one. They took too long and they fucked it up. And if they'd come back and been like, anyways, so here's what's going to happen now, people would have been like, that was kind of a great setup. But it was a setup movie for another great, crazy arc, and they didn't finish it. And I will never forgive them. The end.
Joe? Follow that.
Y'all know I go hard.
She's been dreading over this for like weeks, as you know, because we've been having things come up as they do. My number 1 is Deadpool 2. Right.
I'm shocked, but go.
For anyone listening, I know what you're gonna say. You put X-Men: Days of Futures Past, number 11. They had time travel. Deadpool 2 has time travel. It's different, and I'll tell you why.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you why. It's limited time travel that is used, and it does not undo a happening. All right. This movie came out. My good cousin Julian, we've been friends obviously forever. We were like, hey, we should go watch this movie together. It was me and him. We went. We had a great time. The movie was hilarious. It stacked upon everything Deadpool 1 set up, and it's what I look for in a movie. Right? It's funny. It has drama. It has action. Great CGI. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to fucking cry. All right? Logan, great movie, but I want comedy. I want fun, and in many ways, it is like Spider-Man +1. You know, and that's what a Deadpool is to me. And it is so good.
It was really good.
Was there any particular, like, sequence that made you go, oh, shit, during Deadpool 2?
What do you mean, like surprise me, or?
Surprise you with something super funny? Like, what was, like, the scene that broke you? There you go.
No. The scene where they're all jumping out of the plane, and they're just fucking dying. They're just fucking dying in complete and utter failure. Oh my god. That broke me. That scene broke me. That was so good. So good. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, that was the one.
Nice. Okay.
You're the last one. You're the fucking host.
Shit.
What's your number 1 that I'm not gonna agree? Oh wait.
No, I think you will.
First Class. Yo, it was y'all's number 2. First Class, because it's not a good X-Men movie. It's a good movie that happens to have X-Men. If that makes sense. Great scripts, great timepiece. You know, fucking the Cold War as the backdrop for this, you know, huge event. Fucking Magneto is part of the X-Men, which I know for a fact he never was, but it works in this, if only for one mission. His revenge story for Shaw was fucking great. You see how him and Charles, their upbringing, you know, defines how they want to deal with humans, you know, through it for the rest of their lives. And in the end, you know, even though they're good friends and they genuinely love each other, I believe that. I believe they love each other as friends, you know. You are my brother. You are blood of my blood. They just cannot fucking coexist. It goes down to the fundamental thing. And Charles believes in it. He fucking helps him get stronger. He helps him move a goddamn satellite. A scene that is beautiful. You see Michael Fassbender smiling and crying at the same time. Like, you feel the sadness but the happiness.
Great actor.
Also, I never liked Charles, and I never gave a shit about Magneto until this film. You know, even though it has the smallest amount of Wolverine in it, I also never gave a shit about Mystique until now. You know, like Jennifer Lawrence really threw a lot of character into her character. And Shaw is such a great fucking villain. And funny enough, he has the one power I really want, which is energy absorption. I think that's a fucking cool power. I want that. Stay awake 24 hours a day, 8 days a week? Hell yes, please, and thank you.
No, that would be way too much power in your fucking hands.
Let's slowly plot the world, my world domination. But no, and I remember we used to fucking rewatch this movie, like almost daily, because I had a burned copy of it that my brother-in-law bought me back then. And had that shit on replay, and I would do something and have it playing in the background. Play with toys, have it play in the background. Fucking cleaning, in the background. Video games, in the background. It's a film that at one point, I'm pretty sure I could recite it line by line. Great fucking movie. They're never going to make another one as good as this. This is the bench, this is the bar that Marvel has to try and live up to when they finally introduce the X-Men into the MCU. It has to try and be at least as good as First Class. It's unfair, but like, fuck, dude. When you have something like this, good luck.
It totally depends who they put behind the wheel on that one, but it's a tough movie to me. Like, even the fact that it has almost like it's, you know, that Charles and Eric aren't like friends anymore for the rest, but you don't know like the rest of this movie has like so much at stake for the rest of the series, even though it comes after so many movies, and they did a great job like handling it overall, and it was funny and it was good. And I think you're right, it wasn't like an X-Men movie, it was just like a really good movie, and it happened to be about the X-Men.
No, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, I love a good training montage. Movies need a fucking training montage, especially superhero movies. That's where they fucked up.
Origin movies need a training montage.
Origin movies need a good training montage. You gotta love a Spider-Man fucking trying to figure out how to use goddamn web. And I'm not gonna sit another 5 minutes through that Fantastic Four movie that came out that just popped into them in the fucking future with their powers all working. What's the point? It's a fucking origin movie. I want to see them fuck up. I want to see them trip and fucking put somebody through the wall. Like, anyways, it's really good. You're right, and that's why it's my number 2. Your number 1.
Not our number 1.
Yeah, that would have been. This worked out, I think, pretty good. The fact that we matched on so many different ones, and our number 1s were still all different.
I was gonna say, I also love the fact that they use so many minor characters. Like, yeah, they use Magneto, Mystique, and Charles, but like, no Scott Summers, no Jean Grey, cameo from Wolverine, no Colossus, Beast like barely like comes out in like the third hour at the very end, you know, the third act at the very end. Fuck, man, this film was just amazing. Shit. Yeah, I did not realize you guys like the X-Men so much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, I was telling Joe, like, when you asked me and you were asking if I had any other friends, I was like, oh, I don't think
anyone has watched these movies.
I don't think anyone I know has watched these movies as much or as extensively as like my family has. Yeah. But like, I also want to say, there's 12 movies on this fucking list. That's a lot of movies. And before it was 10, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. And then you texted me that the Deadpool movies were on there, and I was like, no, you're making this harder for me. I'm gonna fucking die. But also, we had watched, like, I felt, like 7 or 8, and I was like, that's most of them. We didn't miss much. And of course, all the ones we hadn't watched were like the newer ones. So of course, we were missing like a fuck ton of these movies. The fact that we'd watched so many, but still didn't have the full story, I think it's just crazy. And it just shows they can do so much with these characters. And I mean, Marvel can pride themselves on having a lot of good like origin story movies and a lot of like a few good like teen movies. But this franchise pulled off more than a handful of teen movies and some, I mean, iconic, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but iconic solo movies. And they're really good. And they pop in and out of different fucking parts of the past. And I think they also have the unique, benefit of using history and using politics where Marvel doesn't often touch beyond like Iron Man holding a press conference. Mm-hmm. And this movie makes it political. It makes it about you. It makes it about race and like about gay people. And it wants you to be like, you know, these people, even though they don't exist, like even though there's no such thing as mutants, there are people who are sitting on the bus next to you on the way to school who feel the exact same way that the mutants do in this school. So it's not that far from reality. The way that Marvel feels like, oh, like Iron Man fucking crushing a fucking building into a giant black hole is kind of way out of touch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, X-Men have always been an allegory. Fucking Charles and Eric, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Like, that's how they were originally designed, the concept.
Yeah, absolutely. And it stays relevant to this day. And I don't know, you telling me that the Marvel had, or like Disney or whatever bought out X-Men, that's the first that I'm really learning about it, though I guess that makes sense. We watched like 2 of the X-Men movies, the newer ones, on Disney Plus. But man, it's big fucking shoes to fill. I hope that they're ready. I know that they have done a good job with shit like this in the past, but it's also really easy to fall short in a Ghostbusters 2 kind of way. And for it to be a good movie but not well received, or for it to be funny but not as funny as you wanted it to be, or for it to be just so easy to fall short, and I don't know, man. Jackman is the man.
I'm gonna miss him.
I mean, he carries on, and honestly, he's probably immortal in real life, on God.
Oh wait, real quick before we go, fun fact: do you all know why he wanted to quit being Wolverine?
No.
He was tired of being so ripped. He said he wanted to be able to eat a burger and not feel like shit.
That, I love to hear shit like that. It just goes it's just hilarious, and it's just so good. And honestly, Hugh Jackman is the pinnacle of unrealistic standards for men in Hollywood and life. Like, he is it. Like, I know that probably now people are talking about the likes of like the guy who plays Superman and stuff, but yeah, Henry Cavill. But no one gets as unreachable as Hugh Jackman. Men, if your girl is like, I'm trying to get you to be like Hugh Jackman, you need to have a talk. You need to sit down.
Lower your expectations.
Lower your expectations. It goes fucking crazy. But you forget how hard guys actually have to work. I mean, and girls too, but the standard for superhero women is often more on the thin and titty side than it is of like being super ripped. But I think of the season like 2 or 3 of Teen Wolf, that MTV show. I was a big fan. They had the main actor Tyler Hoechlin. He had to get super buff to be the like alpha werewolf. And I remember seeing behind the scenes, and he's like so ripped, and the camera's on him, and he's like coming toward the behind the scenes camera, and they're like, "So how does it feel to be playing with this character?" And he's like, "I miss pizza," and like that's really. It just comes back to that, and like let the man have a break, let him chill on his little musical movies, go sing a song. I love you, Hugh Jackman.
He truly is the greatest showman.
If you're listening to us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe.
If you're listening to us via podcast, please subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to hear more about our thoughts on movies, go to therollback.net. I've been Lauren.
I've been Joe, and this is The Rollback.
And I was there too. My name is Eddie. Keeping this.